Hi, this is Barry Schwartz. This is the Search Buzz video recap. This is the news we covered over the past week or so at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Today is Friday, September 3rd, and we have a bunch of people watching live right now, and hopefully they can hear me well, and we'll get started right now. So basically, the first SEO-related news that I wanted to cover was that Bing is supposedly doing some type of search update. So if you do a search in Bing and you maybe notice your traffic, maybe some less you're getting some less traffic from Bing, or you're getting more traffic from Bing, there appears to be a Bing search update taking place right now. It started sometime around yesterday or 2 days ago, and obviously if you're in the US and if you're in Canada, Bing is now powering fully Yahoo, and so that obviously implies that Yahoo is also doing an update, but technically since Bing is powering Yahoo, which is Bing doing an update, but that obviously impacts Yahoo search results in the US and Canada. So definitely take a look at that if you are having problems with your Bing search results. There is a discussion thread over at Webmaster World where you can learn more. I'm going to stick this in the chat room so you can see more relevant information about that. The next thing is Google. There was some discussion that Google might be doing some type of algorithm update as well. This one is related somewhat to MayDay, and some people are saying that there was some type of MayDay algorithm tweak. It's not really so clear as to how many people it's affecting. It doesn't seem like it's affecting so many people. So if you did notice some type of MayDay algorithm tweak, which obviously the MayDay algorithm pretty much affected a lot of sites that were similar in content to others, like a lot of e-commerce sites, a lot of large sites. And a lot of people with these sites, or some people that are actually reporting that these sites that have, as David says in chat room, thin content, are now somewhat changing and starting to rank well again in Google. Obviously not so many people are reporting this, but there are some people who are saying that this tweak has happened, and we reported this on August 30th at seroundtable.com. Some useful new tools from Google. Google has announced yesterday or last night that they're expanding their rich snippets testing tool. Not only can you preview your rich snippets in this rich snippets tool, but now you could also get some more detailed error reporting. So if you're not sure why your snippets are not showing up in Google when you program your rich snippets to work, Google's now giving you more detailed error reporting and tell you what's missing in your rich snippet markup, why it's not showing up, and hopefully that will aid some SEOs and webmasters and web developers in making sure their rich snippet markup works, and obviously hopefully allowing Google to include their rich snippets in the search results. Obviously, at the same time, Google doesn't promise that they'll always allow rich snippets in the search results, but it does definitely help to have valid rich snippet markup. Also in that announcement, Google said that they are releasing a rich snippet markup for breadcrumbs. So I know a lot of people, you know how Google sometimes shows breadcrumb URLs in the search results, so it's not showing URL, instead it shows like the URL, the domain of the URL, with a breadcrumb type of look, where it's just like, you know, rustybrick.com, arrow software to go to the software section. It's not really necessarily a breadcrumb URL, but it's not a URL, and then Google's calling this breadcrumb URLs. So now if you're not happy with the way your breadcrumb URLs look in Google, or if you want Google to show breadcrumb URLs, you can actually include that in your rich snippet markup, and Google will include that going forward, so you should know that. And as David says in the chat room, SEOs must, he emphasizes must, be getting into micro formats and rich snippets more, because it does have a very, very positive effect on your click-through rate. Obviously, anything you can do to make your snippets more rich and make them stand out in the search results will have an impact on your click-through rate, because it obviously draws more eyes to it. Next topic is MSNBot, or soon to be known as BingBot. MSNBot, Microsoft's crawler for their Bing search engine, has typically and historically been known for cloaking their bot, either mistakenly or on purpose, to find sites that are doing things they should not be doing. In the past, we reported back in 2006, 2007, 2008. Every year we pretty much report how Microsoft is doing stuff with their bots to hide them and not appear that they're actually coming from Microsoft. So a lot of people are reporting since last month that Microsoft has been doing this for a month or so. Again, Microsoft has not chimed in yet, so I decided to do a post about it. Basically, it's basically Microsoft hiding their bots, trying to detect what's going on. The question is, are they doing this on purpose or not? And that's the main question here. So we haven't posted about this on September 3rd. If you are concerned about Microsoft crawling your site and generating referrals or fake pages and fake 404 errors or whatever it might be, definitely join the discussion at Webmaster World, and hopefully Microsoft will take a look at this and improve it going forward. The next topic is Google. This is interesting. A lot of people disagree with me, and I wasn't really necessarily meaning this, but I spotted a thread where John over at Google was talking about how somebody was using Google Translate to auto-translate all his pages into a different language, pretty much dynamically creating not duplicate, but auto-generated content. So it was taking unique content that the person wrote, I believe unique, maybe it wasn't his own content, but it was taking content that somebody wrote and translating that automatically using Google Translate into another language. John said he doesn't recommend this. He said this is basically creating auto-generated content, and which would be against our Webmaster guidelines. He's basically saying do not use Google Translate to auto-generate content that you wrote or that somebody else wrote, because technically it's against their guidelines. And I just found it funny, not because it's against their guidelines, but that Google themselves thinks that Google Translate is not good enough and not smart enough to do a good enough job for the content to be readable and useful to people who are in that different language. And John is saying, no, it's not good enough, and Google wants you to have a human look through the content to make sure it's actually up to par, and it's not just pretty much auto-generated content. And I understand, I agree, as a searcher, there's nothing worse than auto-translated content, but from a Googler saying that their Google Translate tool is not good enough for generating useful translation, I find that to be a little bit humorous, and there's lots of comments about this on the thread on August 30th at SEOroundtable.com. There are some comments about the live video stream. We are producing an HD quality version, which is that camera over there later on. It will be posted to YouTube later on today, so if you're not happy with the live feed, you can always catch it later on the podcast as well. Also this week, Google announced that Google had added a blog filter to help find blogs on specific subjects. What I find is useful is actually if you go to do a search in Google, type in anything you want. It could be, for example, I don't know, aerospace engineering or something like that. Then you click on the blog filter on the left of the search result, and then on the bottom you'll see two links, either posts or home pages. You click on home pages, and then it will find subject-specific blogs that are related to the aerospace engineering field. It's pretty good at finding very niche blogs that you can get links from and that you can find useful content from, as well as, from an SEO's perspective, obviously link building from finding very niche blogs is very, very useful. And also from a searcher's perspective, finding blogs that you can subscribe to. It would actually be very, very useful. So there's a new feature. It's not so new, but it's new. It's in the Google just announced it, and you can learn more about this at August 31st at SEOroundtable.com. The next topic is some people are noticing that Google has been slow to remove what are called legally seized domain names and sites from the search index. So what's been going on recently, and I've seen this once or twice in the past, where you go to a website and the website has this thing on there, a message from the U.S. government that this website has been taken over and seized by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement special agents in some office, and they have a big logo there. They have different Department of Justice logos and different things like that, and it's basically been taken over for doing something illegal. What people are complaining about, and I posted about this today on September 3rd, that that Google has been slow to remove these types of sites. Again, I haven't really noticed many search results pop up with this type of message, but what I do notice is that this happened to me at least once, and some people are now reporting that this is a bigger issue than not. It could be that the sites are not reporting a 404 error, but that's really something that they should not be reporting, because the site's still active. It's just been taken over by the U.S. government. So I'm not really sure what the good response is. Maybe Google could work with the government to come up with some type of command, server header, check server status of some sorts to say that the site's been removed and been held by the government for a undisclosed period of time. More information about that, September 3rd at seroundtable.com. On the paid search side, this is a big week for Yahoo and Microsoft. As we said last week, Yahoo and Microsoft has completed the organic search transfer in the U.S. and Canada. So now, if you do a search on Yahoo, the organic results are now fully powered by Bing if you're searching in U.S. and Canada. But also in the U.S. and Canada, Microsoft and Yahoo has begun the transition period for Yahoo to transition over to Microsoft adCenter. There are 3 steps to this, and they include prepare your account for transferring to adCenter, transition your account over to adCenter, and continue to manage your Yahoo Search Marketing account for things outside the US and Canada. So it's still more work. You still have to manage an adCenter account. You still have to transition to an adCenter. But if you still want to target outside the US and Canada, you got to go ahead and manage it, even until October in the US and Canada as well. If you want more information about this, on September 1st, we actually posted something on it. Next topic. Yesterday I tweeted that I basically wrote, just because you spend $65,000 US dollars on a website, it doesn't mean Google will have to like it. And a lot of people like that. I linked to a thread. I didn't really blog about it but then I wrote about it today because I found some interesting comments in that thread, and I thought I should share them with you. A few things. One is, if you are spending $65,000 on a website, it should definitely be search engine friendly. It should be crawlable. It should be indexable. Google should not have a problem crawling the website and indexing the website. That's number one. Number two, it was pretty interesting because Google's John Mu was not only replied once to the thread, but 3 times. And John obviously replies to a lot of threads in the forum, but he's not able to reply to every one. But this one he replied to 3 times, and I assume because he spent $65,000 on the site, and because he put that in his title. It was an eye catcher for sure. Kind of reminds me of when AdWords advertiser threatened to commit suicide unless he got a response from a Google rep, and that seemed to work. He got a response from a Google rep. Third is John is basically saying that one, it actually worked. It got Google to look at the thread. It got Google to look at the reconsideration request, and it probably will mean that that site will be the penalty will be removed. So it actually did work, spending that amount of money on the site, and it probably will start to rank well again. He also says, why don't you go ahead and add your affiliate links back? Because Google doesn't dislike affiliate links. They dislike, as David Harry says, thin content sites that just have thin content with affiliate links. If you have good content, they will not mind the affiliate links, because Google doesn't really say look at the affiliate links, they look at the content around the affiliate links. So that's an interesting thread. If you want to learn more about this, September 3rd at seroundtable.com. A lot of people are in his situation, so I definitely recommend you take a look at this thread. You could probably learn a lot from that. A few more topics and then we're done. This is interesting to Maps people, those who are big into Google Local, Google Places. Google announced this week that they are doing sponsored map icons, basically. You know those points of interest icons that you're able to see in the map, and I'll show people my screen now. Let me zoom in a bit. So what you have here is like these little map icons over here, and you're able to see like here's a doctor's office, here's a law office, here's a Holiday Inn with a bed, here's a synagogue with a Jewish star, and here's some other icons. These are point of interest icons. They're also called labels, and they show up in Google Maps as you're going through a certain zoom level. What's interesting is that with my discussion with them, obviously now the Google sponsor, the new feature is that you can actually place your logo instead of using a generic point of interest icon. At least they're testing this right now. It's not available to everybody. What was interesting is that how does Google figure out which companies to show in that zoom level? In my specific zoom level that I'm showing over here in this report, there's literally hundreds of businesses there. So why are only like 5 of them shown? So Google, and I asked Google that, he basically described a few different things that make that come up that go ahead and come into the factor. One is the quantity of the citations, how many citations that Google local listing has. Is there a Wikipedia entry? And that's not part of the citations, but he specifically mentioned Wikipedia entry. Also, he said the search volume on the business's name, and also other relevant information, because he said pretty much it works a lot like web search. So there you have it. I haven't really heard a lot about how point of interest icons work, labels work in Google Maps, but that's pretty much how it works. And if you want more information about this, September 2nd at SEOroundtable.com. 2 more topics. Sphinn. Sphinn has decided to remove the voting feature from the site, and that was one of the more popular features. Not necessarily popular, but that was one of the more unique features that Sphinn had, and Danny Sullivan said it wasn't working. Basically, people weren't using it. It was being manipulated and stuff like that, so they decided to pull it. I'm not going to get into the politics, but a lot of people are complaining about it. There's people who are really, really against it and really upset that he made a change, and there's people who are really for it, and there's people who just don't know. So I put a poll up there. We currently have about 125 responses asking, does removing voting from Sphinn kill it? Does removing the voting feature from Sphinn kill the website? About 40% said yes, Sphinn is dead. About 16% said Sphinn is not dead. 6% said they're not sure, and a whopping 30% said they just don't care. David Harry definitely has the right approach. Just wait and see how it happens. Personally, I think it would be great. I think it would be, because the editors are very diverse and they're able to go ahead and find good content. You can still submit content, and I think it still will be a useful site to many SEOs out there. 2 more topics. This was interesting too. A little bit controversial. Thanks. Inc.com, Inc. magazine, published an article on, it was named How Google Cost Me $4 Million. Basically, it was through a webmaster who was ranking very well for all his keywords, and one day his rankings died. He got penalized for an SEO link building company who he hired that got him bad links. Eventually, Google got banned. The site got banned from it. He had to spend lots of money with AdWords. Obviously, Google's still taking your money from the AdWords side. But he lost a lot of sales and spent a lot of money with AdWords, and it cost him about $4 million. And Inc. magazine named the article "How Google Cost Me $4 Million." A lot of people are saying, it really shouldn't have been named that. It should have been named "How the Link Building Company Cost This Guy $4 Million." In any event, the purpose of the story was not about Google costing the guy $4 million. It was about explaining to people out there who have websites that there are people who try to scam people. There are people out there that try to manipulate Google, and Google has webmaster guidelines, so be careful about that. And plus, you should really look and learn about how to really build natural links through things like great quality content, social media, and stuff like that. And that's what the story really told, and it was pretty interesting. Not only that, it was pretty interesting to see the comments from Google on this. So definitely take a look at that thread on September 3rd at SEOroundtable.com. The final topic. I seem to be losing people, but it's been a long broadcast. So the final topic is SEO is deeper than what you read. Often I'll write stuff, and a lot of people will write stuff in forums or in blogs or whatever it might be, and it's not going through the exact meaning of what that person is saying. I gave an example. One example I gave was somebody was talking about social media and asking if dropping social media links helps with your link building efforts, and really it doesn't. I mean, mostly social networking sites, Dig and whatever they might be, Facebook and stuff like that, either they're not indexed at all or they have no follow tags on them, so Google won't count the links, and they have no direct impact in terms of the link value. But at the same time, people discover this content through social networking sites, Twitter and stuff like that, which would then maybe encourage them to link to you on their own blog post, will get you included in different articles and stuff like that, which obviously drive link campaigns, which obviously drive more eyeballs and drive more traffic and obviously drive better search results. So people don't always, when I explain things like that, people don't always go through all the details, and it's usually a lot deeper than what you actually read on in the forums or what you're reading on blogs. So just keep that in mind when you're reading stuff. SEO is not, when you're reading, is not always as black and white as what it really is. And for new SEOs specifically, you really should take a look at that and learn from there. And you can read my post. It's fairly long, August 31st at SERoundtable.com. All right, so that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. Thanks for listening. Today is Friday, September 3rd. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com. Thanks again, and everyone have a great weekend. Next week we definitely will not have a search video, so maybe I'll do it on Sunday. I just can't do it on this Friday, so I'll see you guys next maybe 2 weeks. Bye. Have a great weekend.